Stick around, get stuck. I'm Austin Moorhead,
And I've got lies to tell your children, Josh Elsass.
and this is Give It a Spin.
This week we cover everyone's favorite band, and by that I mean Austin's favorite band, Dance Gavin Dance. So Austin, tell everybody why Dance Gavin Dance is the dreamiest band of all time.
It's the dreamiest band, man, because there's so much history involved with this group, spanning from at once having 6 members to now 5, with 2 of them being vocalists. So you have your normal guitar, your bass, your drummer, and 2 vocalists. And there have been, I want to say 9 albums plus an EP that have been released off this group since 2007. That's 13 years, guys. And that's crazy to put out that many projects and not one of them be bad, in my opinion. That's the crazy part. There's so much amazing energy and differentials that go into this group that it's unlike anything you've ever heard of in your entire life. The post-hardcore scene, when you think of it, at least for me, this is that group. This is the group that headlines the post-hardcore genre and excels at it.
They're definitely a very unique band, right? Because they do live in that post-hardcore genre. They also live in a little bit of prog rock. And they were around in I refer to it like the Jurassic period of emo, right? Yeah. They're like when the T-Rexes of the emo genre were roaming the world. I think for me, though, the Dance Gavin Dance, the band didn't actually take form until Tillian joined the group. Do you think that's fair?
I would think that's a lot of people's opinion. I would say, personally, that's when I started. That's the first album I heard off of Dance Gavin Dance, is the first album that Tillian had become their singer. Sure. But there were other ones in the past that I value very strongly to my heart that included Kurt Travis and Johnny Craig as well, who Johnny Craig's been in every damn band, man. Like,
true.
He's been in every band, and he doesn't seem to sound bad in any one.
No. My favorite album is Artificial Selection. That was the album I was introduced to. That was the album that I saw them tour on. And with that being said, I went to high school in the mid-2000s, aka a millennial. So like anyone my age, you are entrenched with the song Uneasy Hearts Weighs the Most. You know every line to that song, and that's what it is. But the reason we're talking about Dance Gavin Dance today is their new album called Afterburner, the 9th studio album from the band. And Austin, you believe it's the second best out of their entire catalog.
That is correct. I was in shock that they were moving along with the project so quickly after Artificial Selection. But at the same point, I wasn't, because, like I said, they were going to produce their 9th album in the span of 13 years. That it's crazy to think that in this time and era, with everything going on, that a project like this would be dropping. And I found out when the single Prisoner dropped, because they always put this is the single to our new album coming out here. And ever since then, I was stoked about this record. And I listened to it, and Josh, I have done countless articles on Dance Gavin Dance, including my one where I dissect every single track off of this. Go check that one out. And the one that I have ranked and graded every single album that Dance Gavin Dance has put out Go check that one out as well. This was literally a 0.5 away from tying Mothership for me, and that is huge.
That seems ow.
You all right there, fella?
Yeah. That seems lofty to me. But I understand, I think what's really admirable about your Dance Gavin Dance fandom, and I think for most of the Dance Gavin Dance people, normally when you have a band that you love, you hate the new music almost immediately, and then maybe like eventually you'll adopt a song or two off of an album. But Dance Gavin Dance fans live for their new music, which I think super cool. And look, when you told me to first listen to this album, it was literally the first week of quarantine. And I was way less impressed when all of a sudden there was a song in Spanish. However, throughout your persistence and me agreeing to do this show, I've really tried to like it. And so I have a few tracks that I can recommend, and we'll do that as you rank them from best track to worst track. From worst track to best track.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Austin, rip it up. Tell us. There's 13 tracks on this album, right?
There are 13 tracks, yes.
All right, so 13 tracks on this album. What is number 13, bottom of the barrel, on the second greatest album from Dance Gavin Dance ever?
All right. Now, before I even start this, I want to say that I liked every song off this record.
Sure.
There is no hate to where I put these ones at the bottom. Because I know people, if they watch, are going to be like, oh, he doesn't like all these. Yeah. And I'm like, no. This is an amazing album. And I'm going to start off number 13, man. A lot of people thought this was the grooviest song on the whole record, and it just didn't connect with me as much as most.
Okay.
And that one is Parallels.
That is not one of my. I have 3 songs that I really like off this album. That's not one of them. So
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. Parallels will take the bottom. After that, we are going to go with the track right after that, and that is Night Sway.
Okay.
It's just like, it sounds, I don't want to say a basic DGD sounding, but it sounds like one of the ones they, in my opinion, I don't think a lot was put into that one as much. So consider it just at number 12.
Okay.
Number 11, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to put the heaviest song on the track or on the record at 11, and that's Say Hi. It just has a lot of elements that I thought almost make it sound more like almost like a secret band, if you know what that is.
Yeah, I mean, like, I like the intro to the song because it's very punky. You know what I mean, with that like guitar, like, or the way the drums build, and then the riff comes in.
Yeah,
and then just jumps right into screaming, like, 15-year-old, 16-year-old Josh would think that track rips. It's not one of my favorites, but okay.
Next one, we are at what, 10?
Yeah, I think so.
Correct? Okay.
Yep.
So 10 is interesting because this song, I felt like there was a lot of emotion on this towards a particular subject.
Okay.
This one is Born to Fail, number 10, which rumors have come out that this was a song almost jabbing Tillion's old band, Tides of Man.
Okay.
And as much of emotion it has, like, I get it, but it doesn't beat the other tracks on this record. And this is the one where I believe John Mess starts off by screaming, "Only bangers from now on." which makes me feel like, again, like this is another secret band vibe, only to roll into your blissful Tillian vocals that you get. Only they're not saying good things, they're saying bad things.
Yeah, I don't mind this song. This is a good song. It wasn't. It's like even like a bad Dance Gavin Dance song is like above average for a normal band's bad song,
Yeah.
because the musician's talents are so, you can't ignore them, right? Like, I mean, just masterful guitar playing, the drumming is incredible. Tillian just sounds great on everything. Like, but yeah, I agree. I wonder. I think we might have the three same tracks here at this rate. All right, cool. What's number 9?
This is tough, because now we're getting into the nitty gritty of like what I really enjoy off this record, and ranking them is always hard. As much as I really, really enjoy this song, I'm gonna have to put it at number 9, and that's the first single that dropped off the record, and that's "Prisoner."
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm okay with that.
I feel like it.
I don't think it's the best single Dance Gavin Dance has ever released.
Correct.
Like, when you sent me that music video, I was like, okay. Like, it wasn't like the first time that I heard hang on, kids, I'm not as well versed as Austin. What's that damn song? Here it is. Midnight Crusade.
Yeah.
Right? Like, first time you heard Midnight Crusade, you're like, that song fucks, right? Like,
yes.
I didn't feel that strongly about Prisoners. Okay.
Yeah. In my mind, it's really good, but somehow it differentiates from the rest of the album. I don't know if you picked that up when you listen to this album.
Yeah, it's much lighter.
Yeah. It's almost like in a weird sense of, I mean, it was a great song to start out knowing that I was getting new Dance Gavin Dance music.
Sure.
But when you compare it with the album, it almost doesn't belong, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like, what were the 2 new 4 Years Strong songs? One was Brain Damage, which, like, when you heard that song, you're like, that's incredible. And then the other one, which obviously wasn't as good because it slipped my mind, but they released 2 singles at the same time. And the other one was like exactly like how you described it. It's like, hey, new 4 Years Strong music. You're like, oh, cool. Like, that was how I felt when I heard it. I was like, okay, cool. Like, hopefully there's some bangers on this album. And then they released that second single, which was Brain Damage, and it slapped. So yes, I agree. It's a good, like, hi, we're back kind of song.
Yes.
Maybe get some radio play too.
Yes. We're on 8, and I tell you what, man, because at points of the time where I get a new record to listen to and I've heard the singles in the past, I'll skip the singles and listen to them at the end.
Yeah, I've done that.
So the first song I heard off this album that was new, and it's going at number 8. It's groovy, it's amazing, but it is in Spanish and I can't understand it. So
I hate that song.
Calentamiento Global.
I don't understand. Like, every time an artist does a Spanish song, I'm like, okay, cool. Did you get that out of your system? And I know that's a really bad way to look at it. Unless it's like Shakira doing the World Cup song, I don't know if you're a big band in America. Like, I don't know. That's me, though. That's me. That's probably a borderline racist opinion. I don't know. Now I'm backpedaling, wondering if I've stepped in it. But
I thought it was interesting that the band took an approach to this, because I believe in the one interview, I think a week before this album dropped, the band was on answering questions, and one question was asked to the band of how, different styles play into this. And Will said, particularly the guitarist, that a part of his culture and everything was going to be on this record. And that's where I feel like this song fit in. It was interesting. I do have to use Translate to understand it though, but I think from the thing I got was that it said your heart melts more than global warming or something, if I remember correctly, if that's in the chorus.
Okay.
Which it's to my mind, it's a John Mess lyric, but it's sung by Tillian, which is another weird part. But I digress.
I
It's
would say I will say this, that Tillian handles the Spanish very well.
Yes, he does. It almost made me wonder if he was like part Spanish.
I agree. Like when he started singing, I was like, oh man, he's either well rehearsed this or he speaks Spanish. So yeah.
All right, so that was track 8,
Yep.
right? Um, top 7, man. This is where it's going to get dicey. I am going to put 3 Wishes at 7.
You're a terrible person.
Is this one of the ones that you really enjoyed?
This one is so funky.
Yeah.
Like that's just funky with a capital F, right? This like don't and then the guitar's all like almost like doing like a melody to the bass. Might be my favorite song from Tillian on this album too.
Really?
Like
Wow.
he just got the lounge singer like voice going at the beginning, and then like we get the power vocals in the middle. Like I like 3 Wishes a lot. That was higher on my list, but I'm cool with it.
I mean, like I said, to me, this felt like a lot more like singles they have released, like Blood Wolf and Summertime Gladness, where it's a weird vibe almost that you're really digging it. And I felt like compared to the other ones that on this track, man, like I don't think it's in the more than half. Let's say that. I enjoy it very much so. But
there's 7 songs left, but all 7 of these you love, is what you're getting at.
Yes, there are 7, correct?
Yep. Okay. All right.
I think so. All right. Now we move on to number 6. And man, this is so hard.
You're like re-debating your list right now.
I am, man. It's terrifying that I'm doing this right now. No, screw it. I'm doing it. A song that I had recently showed to Derek, actually.
Okay.
Because he had texted me Strawberry Swisher Part 2 that he had listened to off their Happiness record with Kurt Travis. And they said he really enjoyed it. And I said, well, if you like that, try this one. It's off their new one. I think you'll like it. And he said, man, this slaps. Like, this is so good. And I hate to put it this low because I really, really like it. But that's Into the Sunset with Bill Murray.
So, Bill Murray, the band.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yes.
If you don't know about Bill Murray, the band, please pause this video and go listen to them right now.
Yeah.
Because they are pop punk, they are emo, they are shoegaze, they are awesome.
Yes.
And you need to know more about Bill Murray.
Yeah.
This song to me feels like, and this is gonna sound so bad, but like, what's the I like to make myself believe planet Earth turns slowly. That song where like shut up and listen. Where like it kind of starts with like a cool hook, and then like as it progresses it goes through like these stages and then ends with the hook. And like, yes, that's songwriting, Josh, I understand, but also like it's like pleasant, but it never like gets me out of my chair where I'm like over the top happy and into it, or like makes me want to dance or anything like that. I would have this one lower than 3 Wishes, but that's my okay. I'm not the world's authority on Dance Gavin Dance like one Austin Rank King Moorhead is.
That is correct. The song you were thinking of, by the way, was "Fireflies" by Alcyon.
Thank you. I thought it was that, but I was like, if I say Fireflies and that's not the right, I'm gonna look like an idiot.
I
But I
do.
look like an idiot for referencing it in a Dance Gavin Dance album. So who cares?
I dance to this one all the time, man. I can't help it. As soon as like Bill Murray comes in, like you feel like this very electronic groove to it, which
Yes.
is so unique to this
Then,
album.
well, it's unique to Bill Murray. I mean, that's their sound.
Yeah. And you get one out of two times on this album where we are reintroduced to swan rapping, which is Will Swan rapping on
Yes.
this. I missed it so much, man. Especially I love the song like Eagles versus Crows, like where he raps in that one. And it took me by so much surprise when it happened. Same thing for here, because I thought Bill Murray was coming in again. And instead I got Will Swan rapping.
Okay.
Excellent. Number 5. Mm. Okay. Number 5, we are going to go with the other feature on this album.
Austin,
I
fuck you.
No, I have to. Um, Nothing Shameful with Andrew Wells, and it's the fact that it's in the top 5 alone is a lot because this song, it almost feels like I love it for the Andrew Wells part alone,
Dude,
rather than everything else.
this song, the drums are at 100, the entire song. Uh, I love the dramatic tempo changes because it's like, and then it like lays off, like most good Dance Gavin Dance songs do. Um, love the screaming verses, which, you know, is DDG signature. I also loved hearing Andrew Wells on a track. He fit with that band sound so perfectly. Like it was almost like he was in the band, like he was a part of the band.
Right.
And this band already has 4 different singers, so you would think adding an extra one is like unnecessary, but it works. I really dig this song. I'm bummed that that's that low. But
I know, man. Especially since off Artificial Selection, Evaporate was one of my highest ones up, and he is in that one as well.
yeah.
So it was tough, but like the rest of these, you could probably switch 3 and 4 around a lot, but there's always like 1 and 2 will stay the same forever for
Okay.
me.
All right.
So we're on number 4, and I am going to go with the second single dropped off of this album, Strawberries Wake.
I hate you.
This one was it stuck a really good place in my heart because right as I found out that this is right around the time that I found out that Dance Gavin Dance was postponing their tour, which was supposed to come in April. So now it's postponed to September for Stage A in Pittsburgh. And to make up for it, they had dropped this single, Strawberries Wake. And it seemed like one of the most fun videos that they've ever done. There's a lot of like shenanigans and everything going on in this song. And Alone, I feel I was hooked on it. And the moment that Tillian and John started screaming and singing at the same time, right at the beginning, because it mashed so well together. And that moment at the end where you think it's over, Tim has that bass. Oh my God, man, it slaps. It's it's so good.
Yeah, I mean you said everything that I had written about this song, just like super awesome airy beginning, and then probably has the most tempo changes on the album for one song.
Yes.
And that ending with like the pop punk over the top chorus is just, I'm all about it. It's pretty great.
Number 3. We got 3 tracks left, man. Whew, oh boy. Number 3 is Lyrics Lie. I love this song so much, and I hate that I have to put it here because it's so good. This is the third single that was released in anticipation of the album. We've covered all four, I believe, in this so far. I enjoyed this more than I should have because John Mess, bless this mess, man. He's so damn good. And this track, my favorite lyric off this track that I continuously say to this day, man, is remember when you tried to kiss her, but she was gay and liked your sister. Who comes up with that? Like, overall, it's a great song. I actually thought there was a lot more of a Tillian rasp or scream on this album more than most. And you hear that a lot in this song and in Prisoner, specifically in Prisoner just once. But in this one, you hear it because it almost sounds like you're hearing an argument between Tillian and John after the buildup of the chorus, almost like he's that little thought bubble in your head that's reminding you of all the bad shit that you've done as a human being. And you're just like, no, it doesn't exist now. No. Oh, it's so good. And the video for it is amazing. A guy literally paints the entire album artwork on a mural, I believe in Los Angeles. I'm not exactly 100% sure if the location is correct, but he does it all just by looking at it. It's incredible. Go check that out, guys. It's amazing. Even if you are not the biggest artsy person, I know I'm not, but it was amazing.
Yeah, at the 320 mark in that song, it kind of goes back to the way it started, and I think it's just a really good ending to a song. It kind of leaves you wanting more, which
Yeah.
is a good idea.
Yep. And we got two left, man. These were the biggest surprises on this album,
Okay.
like to me, because there's so much happening, and the average person that doesn't listen to this band a lot won't pick these up.
Hmm.
There's so much progression and artistic ability in these two songs that it took me a while. I mean, on the first day, I listened to this album like 12 times. So just to get it all in my head, it took about 30 some listens through to figure out which one was number one and which one was number two off this record. I don't want it to. Number two, I wanted to put at number one, but I'm not going to. Number two is Parody Catharsis.
I knew you were gonna put that song at one. You're such a little dork.
Oh man, to me, so Parody Catharsis at two.
Why is this song so high?
It's so good. It's literally, I've looked at how many reactions when people have dropped like their reactions off this album, and a lot of people will listen to this and the comments will be like, this is my favorite song off the album, it's amazing. And I get it, because number one, John Mess, who's normally like this chaotic high on cocaine screamer, very much goes to a more melodic scream level and rides the wave of the music instead of causing the waves, if that makes sense, which you don't often see John do. You see him almost create chaos out of nothing there to then the music pick up and build on after that.
Sure.
It was very interesting to see him do that in this. Also, the guitar work, man. Like, especially when we drop to another Swan Rap segment, which I didn't see coming at all, because this is the first song that I've heard. If you're listening to this album in order, this is the first song you will hear with Will Smith rapping, since I would believe Instant Gratification. And it threw me through a loop. And then, like you were talking about with the funk from Three Wishes, then you just ride this never-ending wave of funk until it breaks off into very soft melodic, only for John to come in with a damn sledgehammer, knock the window open, and for the flood to rain down again and for him to ride it. Man, like, I can't talk enough about this song is so good, and I really wanted it at number one, but
I think you made the right choice, though.
I think so too.
Before we talk about the number one song, I believe in a 12 to 13 track album that the best song on the album will always be number 5. I think that's just kind of where bands know that's where you got to put the banger, because you have all the like exciting, like cool tracks maybe at the beginning, and then you put your number 5, that's your banger. And if people are done listening to your record after that, at least you got them for those 5 songs, right?
Yeah.
That's normally where like the 5 songs that you're going to play in your concert come from.
Yes.
And then the back half of the album, I always feel like the band's favorite songs.
Yes.
So like I think that the number one, the top two songs I think are probably pretty reflective of that, because Parody Catharsis is number 6 on the album 1 through 13. And this song is number 5. And in my opinion, this song will be the shit to see it live. It will be so cool with the Dance Gavin Dance lights, and it'll probably be the end of the first act of their concert. Austin?
Before we give you guys number 1, they have said that they would, if a lot of people have been commenting to them recently, they even did like a live Q&A session, I believe, which I tried to get into, but my computer crashed, so I was unfortunate. They were talking about playing the song I am about to announce to you and Parody Catharsis. These are the 2 songs that they've said that they would want to play live, like out of this album. And I could see Parody Catharsis with it, with John riding the wave of scream that goes into that giant circle pit. Like, it seems like a big circle pit song. Like, you feel it. But enough me yabbering, because I could go on all day with this shit. I love it. Guys, number 1 is 1 in a Million. This song is, it's so good. It's so good. Josh, let me get your thoughts first on it, man, because
the second I heard that song, we were listening to this album in the kitchen cooking, and I turned to Anastasia as like, I don't know how much I'm going to listen to that song like on the album, but live, that'll be my favorite song. I just, the way he like grooves through the beginning of it, and then, you know, the pause in the music, and then the way Tillian's voice comes in with the 1 in a million, like, so good. It's just it's written to be a rock hit, and live it's gonna be really awesome.
I feel like, excuse me, with the top 2 songs on this album, I feel like one person is in charge of each song. I feel like John commands Parody Catharsis and Tillian rides with him, whereas I feel this song is Tillian's fucking song. Like, the amount of, I couldn't even imagine the amount of vocal training someone would have to go through to do this song, man. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I was very upset because what was my favorite music reviewer, Transitional Fantano, whatever his name is, gave this Anthony Fantano, I believe his name is. He always does those stupid transition shits. But he's never been a fan of this, and he even went on record to say that he did not like this song, to which Tillian replied back,
"Thank you," from the second biggest Dance Gavin Dance fan that I
know. He had commented that the vocals sounded very robotic in a way, and Tillian actually tweeted saying like, "Oh, I guess like me, like sub-layering all these is somewhat robotic, right?" Like, he did it all himself, not robotics or anything like that. And it was a huge finger to someone that has been shitting on their music for how long.
Finally, okay, so you don't like this guy.
No,
All right, I understand now. Okay.
I mean, when this album reaches 14 on the Billboard 200 without actual sales,
Oh wow.
physical sales, that
Yeah.
means something. Like,
No,
um,
I mean, yeah, definitely. And if anything, it just means that they still know how to get their fans activated,
yes.
right?
But that's it, man. Let's go through the 13. Do you have them all written down or put in a thing?
What?
I said I was doing a backtrack of like where they were at. I didn't know if you had them like put down or written down or somewhere.
Why would I write them down?
I
That's
don't,
your job.
I don't know,
It's your
but
top 10.
yes. Well, top 13. So,
Hey, man, on this show, I'm just along for the ride. You're the one that's creatively driving this ship.
um, guys, I encourage you to please go out and listen to this record because it takes a lot for an album to even come close to Mothership for me in terms of quality, how it's presented, how diverse it is. I had been the biggest fan of not their not their self-titled. It was uh, Downtown Battle Mountain City, or yeah, Downtown Battle Mountain. Excuse me. That has been my number 2 for years. And for the newest one to come along and knock that off the pedestal
It's always a good feeling.
is so good. They were saying that I was impressed with the amount of progression that they had done from Mothership to Artificial Selection. I am even more impressed with Artificial Selection to Afterburner than I could ever imagine. It means that nothing that they make forward from here will be even remotely bad. Even remotely. Like, if a song sucks, I'm still going to say it's good because there's no amount of talent that I feel like could touch this like album for a while. It's just so diverse. It's so good. It puts you in every feel and almost lets you experience every genre along the way on this very bumpy post-hardcore ride that you're taking off and eventually after burning down. So,
All right. That wraps up this week's Give It a Spin. Next week,
we
Denzel Curry's
grading?
What?
Are we grading?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I'll just cut that part out.
Okay.
All right, Austin, give us a final score.
Okay. I'm going to give it 6.5 devil horns out of 7. That's where it is for me. Mothership is an all-time 7 out of 7. This was literally a fraction of reaching that potential. So 6.5.
I'm going to give it just 5 flaming dark horses from hell. I think it's a good album. I think that like there will be songs off of that end up on my Dance Gavin Dance playlist that, you know, has like all the songs from them that I like. But I don't think front to back it like reawoke like my brain cells or anything or made me a huge Dance Gavin Dance fan. But it's a very good album for the post-hardcore prog rock genre. So you got to give them credit for that. And again, their fans, you, are really excited about this album, which gives it an extra point in my book. Because if you can get your fan base engaged in a new album when you've been around for 13 years, you're a pretty fucking good band.
Oh, yeah. So I can't wait to see them live, man. It's going to be insane. It'll be my 3rd time seeing them live. And when the first time you drive 2.5 hours to Cleveland to see them, nothing tops it, man. Their shows are incredible.
All right. that wraps it up for Give It a Spin. That's week 2. Next week, Denzel Curry's Unlocked. It's an 8-track EP from Denzel Curry, and Kenny Beats produced it. Got a touch of old school in it, and we'll break it down for you next week on Give It a Spin. Austin, tell the people about being awesome.
I am awesome.
There you have it. All right. Catch us on Thursday, tomorrow, 2 Beers Deep, live at 6. Austin will have a ranking. I'll be getting made fun of. And then, enjoy the rest of your week.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks for watching.